Rob is speaking to the kids and whatnot. So for the most part, again, this is a really high level swap out. Not only did she swap out the fathers, he is like really into it. Like he really f with these kids for real. Like they were really lucky. And he's a pretty nice guy, right? And so for one, there's so many things wrong. He's about to ask them their opinion on about basically, hey, it's nice that everyone's here. It'd be nice to have my mother here. And watch how the kids handle him.
Yeah.
I was thinking like, I would love to maybe one day have this type of setting with my mama. It's very important for Tenni's family and my family to all become one because when I think of born a child without my mom being there.
So, and again, I know he doesn't really have experience, and it's important to learn from men who are dominant. So you learn how to be dominant. Make sure you have some kind of control over what goes on around you. And being dominant is not always going to be a comfortable experience where people say, "Yeah, sure, take control." You're right. No, it's not always like that. Sometimes you gotta have an uncomfortable conversation. Sometimes you gonna have to give that. You gotta have faith in time. That's why faith is so important. Roll my sleeves up. I'm in here cooking. Roll my sleeves up, son. That's why faith is so important. Because you have to have faith that I'm going to say this to you with the best intentions without necessarily critiquing you necessarily and talking about maybe what happened or what's going on or what the situation is that we both can observe. And I have to have faith that at some point it'll resonate with you. Gotta have faith. So maybe he needed to find the words. And what he's saying, he didn't say in no bad way and whatnot. Maybe he wasn't aware of how they saw the situation. But asking them, and again, it's not wrong for asking. It's just more so it's just a situation of it's not their choice whether or not his mother gets to be around. This is one of the things that abusive women do to men, and vice versa. Men are not conditioned to realize when the woman's abusing him or when she's doing things that's wrong. To the point where we think it's normal that okay, yeah, so the man mess up, she needs to try to punish him, and even if in movies and the media, it's always like a comedic thing for a woman to physically punish the man and beat him up, and and he's just this idiot, and she's holding it all together, and so on, so on and so forth. But like, I just seen the trailer for the SZA and Keke Palmer movie, and I like her boyfriend in the trailer is like, and he's stupid. And he steals the rent money and buys bootleg clothes with it and whatnot. This really messed up stuff. It's like really messed up. Why does her boyfriend have to do that? And then during the trailer, she beats him up. So she basically roughs him up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like
I want your body. If you love me, let me get your body.
That's what it's saying, man. You know what I mean? Like. So this reaction is priceless. Shit is crazy. Anyway, how have you been?
It's the worst thought.
I'm okay with it, but I think that I would appreciate an apology. I mean, I would like to try, but honestly, I feel the same way with Shy. Like, we need an apology or something, because
yo, a child demanding from an adult demanding an apology. Like, and again, these seem like pretty cool kids and whatnot, but they have mannerisms of adults. Like the little boy talks like he thinks he's a grown up, and a lot of that comes from interact when you interact with your mother a lot, she entertains things more. She doesn't really bring it into things. She doesn't, because again, women enjoy experiences. They get stimulation from experiences. So she likes to get into the experience of having a conversation, the back and forth. Now, eventually, depending on what it is, she'll get tired of it. She's going to say, "All right, listen, this is what it is," so on and so forth. But you'll have more of that. And also, it's not really in women's nature to, like, have a rule and stick to it every single day. It's the same thing no matter what. Can't change my mind. For certain things, maybe pet peeves, women will have rules like that. But again, that's just not really something that you can count on. I think women try. I'm just saying that, but it's very difficult because again, it involves being the bad guy. It involves, not really having the best rapport at times. You know what I mean? And whereas with your father, you'll probably take it less personal, right? But anywho, so you can see how their mother interacts with them a lot in a way that is again stimulating for her because she gets to have that back and forth, and you can tell that he seemed very mature. But so right then and there, he should have checked them on. That person is older than you. That's my mother. You don't make no demands of nobody. We're gonna work things out as a family. That's between me, her, and my mother. Okay, but not only that, lying to your children about what happened. The children still don't understand that Tenni hit her first. Yeah, they was getting into it and whatnot. They're both wrong, but Tenni did attack her first, and the kids again. When you see that the previous episode when they had to fight and whatnot, the little girl's crying and everything, and in her mind, and again, listen, that's bias playing out. No matter what, you do not want to see your mother as doing anything wrong. Who wants to see their mother as doing anything wrong? Right? I'm gonna play a little more, then we'll be gonna close out for these rascals over here. Fair use, fair use, fair use.
It was really uncalled for.
Yeah.
He just said it was really uncalled for. Rob don't know what to. Right, he really not feeling this. But he doesn't have the experience and the words for what's going on.
My biggest thing about having another baby is just I'm getting older. The rate at which Black women are going into the hospital and dying during childbirth, it's scary giving birth nowadays as a Black woman in a hospital. I don't know, like to me.
I had to give you this.
What is wrong?
Give me a second.
What happened?
I'll stop right there. You can't spend all day talking about love at the locker. But anywho, going back to especially when you mess up. If your kids see you mess up, man, you have to speak to them about that. Help them understand it, because what's going to happen is they'll see you doing the wrong thing, and if they don't see you correct that action, like you shape what's right from wrong for them, and what feels right and what feels wrong for them, right? So when you mess up, no one's perfect. It's just about making an effort to try and do better. Okay, but also to make sure that they don't repeat it, because they'll repeat it. Because it's hard to think your parents are wrong. Your software, you were designed to not really go against your parents. That's why it's kind of people rebel a little bit, but as far as like this, especially like like your mother, you know what I mean? Like your mother, your parents have your mother has to be really terrible for you to like not rock with your mom. Your moms at least. You understand? So yeah, man. So yeah, it's just certain things you can't really get into, and you have to kind of establish what it's going to be. All right. And again, I understand that he's trying to be, and he learning. Like, he really doesn't have any reference point. His father also was in and out of jail and whatnot. So his father was never able to give him the structure he needed, or just how things will work efficiently, who you need to be in a relationship, and what your role actually is. Okay. So again, you have to decide how things are going to go. First, you again developing your personal code, and you saying, all right, this is how I want things to run, and communicating that to the woman you with. All right. That is the first thing y'all should be going through. But it's very hard for a man to get there if he's never had his own space before, or never had his own thing, or maybe at least in his dad, how his dad ran the house at least. You know what I mean? So he knows how a house is supposed to run. That's another thing you're supposed to be learning from your parents is how to run a household. Okay. We get so caught up in I don't know if that's symbolism or not, but the whole concept of supporting women with this idea of continuing to like progress in terms of we got women doing this, women doing that, and it's not about whether or not that person's good at what they do. The win is just having, let's say it's black women having black women doing this, black women doing that. Even with the presidency, um, again, I never heard this woman ever say she was black. Now she has all these stories about being black and growing up black, and and black women were still able to be caught up in the idea of, yo, we're gonna have our first black female president, and this person's not, it's questionable whether or not you're a black woman. I mean, I thought she was black. You sound black, and again, it really, end of the day, it doesn't really matter what she is. That's not what your job is based on. Right? Maybe it shouldn't matter what the gender is necessarily, but that can't be something that we continue to actually want to basically having the desire to put people in certain places based off of being able to say this is the first Martian to be a mayor in Detroit. We have a Martian mayor in Detroit. All right, he ran a real strong campaign on UFO politics. Like shit like that. Um, or there's this whole thing of like breaking barriers. But at some point, but again, the barriers don't matter if there's no male leadership. Male leadership is the only way that we go forward as a people. And I say that because, again, especially for black folks, it's why y'all be losing. No strong male leadership. No one there to say, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll be the bad guy. And let's go ahead and get into the bad guy real quick. So, a few things. I'm actually going to pull up one more